In our world, unusual incidents happen every day.
Run, 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 run!
And thanks to digital technology, we can stay informed about such events. In this video, I present to your attention a selection of astonishing phenomena that were captured on camera by eyewitnesses. Enjoy watching. This unusual video was filmed by a tourist in one of Europe's national parks. According to the man, a deer approached a snake, an ordinary viper about half a meter long, and instead of reacting with fear or retreat, it began to display completely unexpected behavior. The deer bent down, gently grabbed the snake with its teeth, and began chewing on it. Until recently, it was believed that deer feed exclusively on plant material, leaves, shrubs, grasses, and lichens. However, this new observation suggests that the dietary preferences of these animals may be far more flexible than previously thought. While cleaning his home, a man discovered a large spider. After killing it, he noticed a long worm crawling out of the spider's abdomen. He managed to record the event on camera. It turned out that the spider had been hosting a myrmidid. Myrmidids are a family of parasitic nematodes that infect various invertebrate animals. These extraordinary organisms were first discovered by the Italian naturalist Ulisse Aldrovandi back in 1623. The parasitic nature of myrmidids lies in the fact that their larvae develop inside the body of the host, which can include insects, spiders, scorpions, crustaceans, earthworms, leeches, and even mollusks. A woman named Kimberly, who was vacationing at a campsite in Australia, encountered a most unusual sight. Inside the toilet of her cabin, she found several dozen frogs. According to local residents, this phenomenon is not uncommon in the country. The reason for such behavior is simple. Frogs often seek cool, damp places, especially in Australia's hot climate. Strangely enough, toilets provide them with an ideal shelter, offering both the necessary moisture and shade. Australia is known for its unique and sometimes dangerous wildlife. The country is home to many species that can surprise even experienced travelers. Frogs hiding in toilets are just one example of the peculiar habits of the local fauna. A strange video recently appeared online showing a man recording scenes from his storage room where the walls were literally crawling with lizards. Hundreds of reptiles clung to the vertical surfaces, creating a truly unsettling sight. Such a massive congregation of lizards can be explained by several factors. First, these reptiles often seek secluded places for shelter and rest. The storage area likely provided ideal conditions in terms of temperature and humidity. Second, it's possible that the location offered access to food waste or insects, the primary diet of lizards, which could have attracted so many individuals at once. Although such an invasion may seem alarming, lizards generally pose no danger to humans and can even be beneficial by helping to control pest insects. This video was filmed in India when, during a powerful thunderstorm, local residents witnessed an impressive natural event. A giant lightning bolt illuminated the city, and within its outlines, observers claimed to see the silhouette of the god Shiva, one of the supreme deities in Hinduism. Interestingly, this was not the only time nature played with people's imagination. Shortly before that, clouds appeared in the Indian sky whose shape resembled another revered god, Krishna. Such natural phenomena often spark particular interest among locals, especially in countries with a rich spiritual culture where nature's displays are frequently interpreted as signs from above. These coincidences may be perceived as divine messages or omens. In the sky above Amsterdam, witnesses recorded an unusual atmospheric anomaly. In the center of the frame, we see a cloud that looks as if it had been neatly cut in half. To the left of it, a group of clouds formed a spiral structure, while the right side of the sky remained almost completely clear. What made the moment even more intriguing was that the camera captured a strange shadow cast by this unusual cloud formation. Specialists do not rule out that the observed phenomenon might have been a complex optical illusion created by a unique combination of atmospheric conditions, lighting direction, and viewing angle. The author of the video accidentally captured a strange anomaly that happened to his friend. In the footage, we see a group of friends gathered in a bar to relax. Suddenly, in the middle of a lively conversation, the girl froze in silent laughter. Her face turned into a motionless mask and her body stopped moving. The state lasted only a few seconds, but it felt like an eternity to those around her. When the girl came to her senses, she was confused. She sensed that something unusual had happened, but couldn't understand what exactly. Such cases are sometimes described as temporary disorientation or a trance-like state. It can be caused by various factors, from a strong emotional outburst to a brief disruption of brain activity. A man was simply looking out his window when he noticed an unusual scene on the street. A woman was standing next to a parked car taking selfies. Minutes passed, and the man began to notice something peculiar. The woman was repeating the same actions over and over, continuously rotating her camera in front of her face. At the same time, her body remained motionless and her facial expression was frozen in a single emotion. This strange, mechanical sequence of movements continued for some time, creating the impression that she was not a living person, but a programmed robot. The mysterious scene remained an unsolved enigma, leaving behind only the eerie memory of a bizarre incident that those who saw are unlikely to forget anytime soon. An eyewitness recorded a mysterious scene on a bus. A young woman was applying lipstick while holding up her hand as if it contained a mirror. Yet there was no mirror. She seemed to be interacting with an invisible reflection. Normally, passengers who decide to fix their makeup use compact mirrors or their phones. But in this case, the scene looked strange. Perhaps the woman was simply playing a prank on those around her, or demonstrating her ability to apply makeup blindly. The Rimac River, which stretches for 160 kilometers, plays a key role in supplying water to the capital of Peru, Lima. It divides the city into two parts and provides water for a vast area. In February 2025, an unusual incident occurred. The river's waters suddenly turned bright red. The color change caused serious concern among local residents. However, experts quickly identified the reason behind the transformation. According to ecologist Maria Angelica Villasante, the river's red hue was caused by industrial pollution. In the basin of the nearby Santa Eulalia River, there are about 30 active mines and more than 500 drainage pipes that discharge waste directly into the Rimac. This event forced the city authorities to take urgent measures to address what had become an environmental disaster. A resident of the Russian Kamchatka Peninsula shared shocking footage he recorded at sunset. The video shows a rare natural phenomenon: enormous whirlwinds made up of colonies of mosquitoes rising into the sky and blocking the sunlight. Local residents were astonished by the scale of the event. The insects moved so synchronously that they formed true tornado-like structures, visible even behind tall trees. The unusual phenomenon lasted for 2 days. According to experts, the reason for this massive gathering of insects was the mating season. Quite recently, residents of the Czech capital were astonished by an extraordinary phenomenon. A massive white cube appeared in the sky over Prague, slowly rotating and reflecting the rays of the daytime sun. The object, hovering above the city, caused a real sensation among the townspeople. Witnesses of this anomaly filmed the mysterious cube from various angles. The object remained visible for almost 5 minutes, giving people enough time to examine it in detail. According to eyewitnesses, the size and movement of the cube did not correspond to any known type of aircraft. It hovered in the air with such grace and precision that many doubted its earthly origin. Some speculated that it might be a modern drone or a secret military device. However, experts noted that no existing aircraft is capable of moving in such a manner. The investigation into the appearance of the mysterious cube continues, and the city's residents remain deeply impressed by what they saw. A social media user posted an unusual video that literally defies the laws of nature. The recording clearly shows that in front of a house, at the main entrance, typical summer weather prevails: bright sunlight and green leaves on the trees. However, once the homeowner steps into the backyard, the scene changes dramatically. Behind the house, a true winter rages, with snowdrifts everywhere. Watching this footage gives the impression that the space around the house has become a portal between two parallel worlds where time flows by entirely different rules. This natural phenomenon gave rise to numerous theories and speculations. Some scientists believe that the cause could be a local climatic effect related to the landscape and air circulation. Others see it as nothing more than a digital fabrication. The author of this video recorded a very strange incident. In the middle of a busy street, he and other passersby noticed a cat standing completely motionless like a statue or a toy. Many people stopped and tried to interact with the animal, but the cat remained in the same state. This incident caused a strange sense of unease among witnesses. Standing near the cat, it seemed as though she was caught in a time anomaly. The entire world around her was moving except for her. The video became very popular online. Some users concluded that it was not a real animal but a toy. However, the cat looked far too realistic for that assumption. This video was filmed in the Canadian capital, Ottawa. The owner of a cottage noticed a mystical anomaly with her mirror and decided to share it on social media. In the footage, we see the reflection of a window in the mirror. Outside, snow is falling, and at first glance, there seems to be nothing unusual until the woman turns the camera toward the window. Strangely enough, there is no snow outside. The author of the video repeatedly moved the camera back and forth between the mirror and the window, and each time, snow could be seen in the reflection, but not in reality. Viewers who watched the unusual video suggested that it might be a trick of perspective. However, this theory was disproved by the fact that the reflections of people in the mirror appeared completely natural, just as they should in a normal reflection. Moreover, the genuine reactions of everyone in the room indicated that this was not a staged video. Recently, a mysterious story told by Laura Rawlings became popular on social media. It all happened during a thorough cleaning of her bathroom. Among her usual belongings, the woman found a duplicate of her own ring. The discovery left her completely bewildered, as the piece of jewelry was identical to the one she wore on her finger, down to the smallest details. The only difference was that the duplicate appeared dirty, as if it had been lying in the bathroom for a long time. The comments under the posted video erupted into a lively discussion. Some users speculated that a relative might have lost the original ring and ordered a new one, but that theory was dismissed since Laura has no close family members who could have done so. The story of the ring duplicate remains a mystery, and the woman eventually concluded that it must simply be a coincidence. Recently, residents of Chicago were stunned by the appearance of the night sky. According to eyewitnesses, the moon was visible along with something resembling its deformed copy, while the sky itself seemed to shimmer, creating the effect of a distorted video feed. Interestingly, the sky at the time of observation was completely clear, meaning that nothing could have caused such an optical illusion. One eyewitness of the phenomenon shared a video so that others could try to explain what was happening. Many theories were proposed, from technical glitches during filming to rare atmospheric phenomena and even temporary disruptions of physical laws. However, no one has yet managed to solve this mystery. The author of this video encountered an astonishing anomaly. During a walk, she noticed that one of the fallen autumn leaves was mysteriously suspended in the air. The woman decided to record the event and share it online. The footage shows a single leaf hovering in the air without any visible support. The woman even took the leaf in her hand to check for a string, but found none. She then dropped it to the ground, and it floated back up to the same height as before. This video literally blew the minds of internet users, who began coming up with various explanations for the anomaly. Some believe it could be an optical illusion, while others suggest that the leaf is further proof of temporal disturbances in the gravitational field. Yet there were also those who were convinced that the woman had simply created the trick herself. Optical illusions often challenge our perception, making us believe in mysticism and the paranormal. This is exactly what happened during a school event where a group of students performed a song accompanied by astonishingly synchronized dance moves. The audience at the event was shocked by the absolute precision of the participants' movements. Every gesture was performed so perfectly that it created the impression of reality being copied and pasted. The effect was further enhanced by the identical outfits of the girls and the matching costumes of the boys. Although many people believed that some kind of mystical force was behind the performance, moving the teenagers in unison, the organizers continued to insist that it was nothing more than the result of coordinated teamwork, a perfectly rehearsed routine that achieved the desired visual effect. A curious phenomenon occurred in the sky over the capital of Belarus, the city of Minsk, and sparked widespread public discussion. Completely unexpectedly, an unusual formation appeared on the horizon, the shape of which strikingly resembled a giant black squid. Moments later, seemingly to the astonishment of onlookers, the strange object began moving its tentacles. Eyewitnesses were amazed by the bizarre sight and immediately began sharing photos and videos on social media. These images quickly spread online, prompting a flood of theories about the nature of the phenomenon. Some believed it was merely a random play of light and shadow, creating a powerful optical illusion. Others put forward bolder ideas, claiming that someone might be conducting secret experiments with new types of air balloons or even experimental drones. Despite the many discussions and speculations, there were no official comments from meteorologists or government representatives. In the autumn of 2021, a rare and fascinating natural phenomenon known as sand flows was discovered in Saudi Arabia. This phenomenon visually resembles waterfalls, but instead of water, sand flows downward, sometimes mixed with moisture. The sand flows are of great interest not only to geologists studying landscape formation processes, but also to tourists from around the world. However, The growing popularity of this phenomenon poses a potential threat to the fragile desert ecosystem. Mass tourism could accelerate environmental degradation unless appropriate conservation measures are taken to protect the area from excessive human impact. The author of this video is an ordinary traveler who discovered a strange pit in the desert. At first, he thought it might be the den of snakes or other animals, but it turned out to be very deep. Moreover, an eerie sound could be heard coming from within. The anomaly manifested itself as a low-frequency hum with occasional high-pitched tones resembling the cry of something deep beneath the Earth's surface. Interestingly, a similar pit was discovered elsewhere in the valley of the Euphrates River. There, too, a comparable acoustic anomaly was recorded. Despite the difference in the geographic locations where these phenomena appeared, their sound characteristics were almost identical, suggesting a single source of origin. Several researchers lean toward a tectonic explanation for these occurrences, possibly involving the movement of massive geological structures or the release of gases from deep layers of the Earth's crust under high pressure. Another hypothesis suggests the existence of previously unknown biological species that live primarily underground or remain hidden in the extreme conditions of deserts. A video from the Kumtak Desert recently surfaced on social media showing tourists experiencing a rare atmospheric event. Electrical charges made their hair stand on end. Their family was initially shocked by what was happening, but once they realized the phenomenon posed no danger, they began filming amusing moments featuring their new creative hairstyles. According to scientists, this phenomenon occurs quite rarely. They believe the tourists became part of this natural display due to the strong heating of the sand by the sun and the unique climatic conditions of the area. On the 10th of August 1990, Idaho National Guard pilot Bill Miller was flying over a desert area of the state of Oregon when he spotted a giant geoglyph on the floor of a dried lake shaped like the Hindu symbol Sri Yantra. What was remarkable was that only 30 minutes earlier there had been no visible trace of any formation, and yet the geoglyph appeared perfectly precise and symmetrical. But who could have created it in such a short period of time? For a human, it would have been impossible, especially since no tracks or signs of machinery were found nearby. Naturally, these details sparked theories about extraterrestrial involvement in the creation of the drawing. Although a group of 5 artists later claimed responsibility for the geoglyph, no evidence supporting their claim was ever found. Thus, to this day, the mystery of this pattern remains unsolved. A video recently appeared online showing an unusual phenomenon that baffled beachgoers. People watched in astonishment as millions of sardines desperately tried to reach the shore. Scientists studied the phenomenon and concluded that such mass movements are part of these small silverfish survival strategy. In an attempt to escape large predators such as sharks, sardines form enormous schools and move toward shallower coastal waters where the chances of being eaten are much lower. However, during such large-scale migrations, some fish get too close to the shore and end up stranded, leading to their death nonetheless. In July 2025, several regions of Ukraine found themselves at the epicenter of a massive locust outbreak. Millions of voracious insects attacked fields of grain and vegetable crops. This invasion became a heavy blow for farmers who could only watch as their agricultural harvest perished. The locust is one of the most dangerous insect pests in the world. These insects can gather into gigantic swarms numbering up to 150 million individuals per square kilometer. In a single day, a locust swarm destroys enough vegetation to feed 35,000 people. The insects move at speeds of up to 15 to 16 kilometers per hour and can cover hundreds of kilometers in search of food. Combating locusts requires a complex approach, including the use of modern pesticides, biological control methods, and early warning systems. However, due to climate change, predicting and controlling locust populations is becoming increasingly difficult. At the end of August 2025, an unusual natural event occurred in China, attracting the attention of scientists and the public. In one of the forests of Sichuan province, millions of white silk cocoons of mulberry silkworms were observed. Eyewitnesses were very surprised to see this, since the mulberry silkworm is a fully domesticated species. Since ancient times, these insects have been bred in China because they produce the precious fabric, silk. A single silkworm caterpillar is capable of spinning a cocoon from a fine silk thread up to 1 kilometer long. Although silkworms in China mostly live on specialized farms, their wild relatives still exist in nature, particularly in the forests of Sichuan. What exactly caused the sudden increase in the number of silkworm caterpillars remains a mystery. Despite the usefulness of these insects, a rise in their population in the wild can lead to serious damage and even the death of certain tree species. For this reason, scientists suggest taking preventive measures to avoid such occurrences in the future. Yellowstone National Park is often the place where unexpected natural phenomena occur. In August 2025, another impressive event took place there: a powerful hydrothermal explosion in the thermal zone of Biscuit Basin. The incident happened 3.5 kilometers from the famous Old Faithful geyser, located in one of the park's most active geothermal areas. Eyewitnesses recorded how the geyser ejected a massive column of boiling water and mud into the air, reaching heights of several tens of meters. At that moment, tourists were near the epicenter of the explosion. Fortunately, no one was injured. According to the United States Geological Survey, the cause of the explosion was a sudden drop in pressure within the underground water reservoirs, where the temperature was close to the boiling point. As a result, the liquid instantly turned into steam, triggering a powerful eruption. After the incident, tourists were strongly advised to avoid walking near such hazardous areas of the park. Hydrothermal zones remain unpredictable and can pose a serious danger during new episodes of increased activity. An ordinary day in Los Angeles turned into a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. The sky over the metropolis turned an unnatural crimson color, and the sun burned brighter than usual, flooding everything around with an eerie red glow. Videos of this stunning yet frightening sight quickly spread across social media, becoming viral content. Internet users compared the scene to shots from disaster movies where humanity faces the end of the world. However, behind this apocalyptic view lay a very earthly cause: thick smoke that has been shrouding the city for 6 consecutive years. Under certain weather conditions, it created a unique optical illusion, transforming the familiar urban landscape into a surreal painting. In Ha Long Bay, located in Vietnam, an unusual natural phenomenon occurred. On the 27th of June 2025, local residents witnessed a massive gathering of sea cockroaches, small benthic isopods that usually live along rocky shores. Eyewitnesses were astonished by their sheer number. There were so many that it seemed as though the shoreline itself had come to life. The behavior of these creatures after a recent storm was particularly interesting. The sea cockroaches crawled along the beach and began to burrow into the sand, which is highly unusual given their typical lifestyle. These creatures prefer rocky coastal areas and very rarely appear so close to port zones. Scientists have not yet been able to explain the reasons for such a mass congregation of sea cockroaches in an environment uncharacteristic for them. It is possible that this phenomenon is related to environmental changes or seasonal migrations. This unusual natural event occurred in southern Taiwan on the 26th of June 2025. Early in the morning, local residents witnessed another eruption of the Wandan mud volcano located near the Huangyuan temple. The eruption began around 5 o'clock in the morning and lasted almost 11 hours. The ground literally split into 4 separate cracks from which streams of thick, bubbling mud mixed with methane poured out. The mud flows rushed into nearby ditches, posing a real threat to agricultural lands. Interestingly, this was far from the first time the volcano had shown activity. Over the past 3 years, it has erupted 10 times. The previous eruption occurred only a year earlier in July 2024. Local residents have already become accustomed to living alongside this natural phenomenon and have learned to coexist with it. On the 11th of November 2024, the residents of the small Colombian town of San Jose de Mulatos, located in the Neco region, witnessed the sudden awakening of a mud volcano long thought to be completely inactive. The once sleeping volcano began ejecting thousands of tons of mud into the atmosphere every second. Massive mud flows quickly spread across the area, covering nearly 1 square kilometer in just a few minutes. The local residents were forced to temporarily leave their homes until the volcano ceased its activity. The nature of this phenomenon remains a mystery to both scientists and locals. No one could have predicted that a supposedly safe mud volcano was capable of such a powerful eruption. The author of this video witnessed an extremely rare natural phenomenon, a snowfall divided by an invisible boundary. The footage clearly shows that snow is falling only on one side of the bridge, leaving the opposite side completely clean without a single snowflake. The nature of this phenomenon remains a mystery to scientists. Some experts suggest that this anomaly may be the result of a complex interaction of air currents, temperature gradients, or other atmospheric factors that came together to create a unique natural wonder. Late at night, at 1:33 a.m. local time, an unexplained incident occurred on one of the farms in the US state of Iowa. It was captured by a video surveillance system. The recording clearly shows something resembling an explosion in the middle of the field, producing a shockwave. However, the most astonishing part is that no falling object or visible material cause was detected at the epicenter. The farm owner, Stuart Turner, commented that he had never before encountered such a phenomenon. Some researchers suggested that the footage might show the process of the formation of mysterious crop circles in real time. Remarkably, after the incident, part of the surveillance cameras went out of order, which only increased the mystery surrounding this event. Residents of the Chinese city of Hessian were shocked when they noticed strange vortices ominously hovering above the trees. Footage of this unusual phenomenon quickly appeared online, sparking numerous questions. Eyewitnesses noted that this anomaly looked far too unusual to be just an ordinary atmospheric occurrence. Many were convinced they had witnessed something supernatural, perhaps an alien appearance or a sign of the end of the world. Despite the mystical atmosphere of the event, scientists were able to provide a scientific explanation. According to them, the mysterious whirlwinds were nothing more than pollen rising from the trees during a period of high humidity. This unusual video, filmed in the city of Destin, Florida, made viewers around the world question the stability of reality itself. The recording shows an ordinary pelican standing by the water, but upon closer examination, something strange becomes apparent. The bird's body seems to dissolve into the air, its feathers appear translucent, and its outlines look blurred. The longer one observes the phenomenon, the stranger it seems. Internet users tried to explain this occurrence, proposing theories ranging from digital editing to scientific holographic experiments. However, none of the suggested explanations managed to account fully for what was seen. The author of this video captured an astonishing phenomenon on camera. The footage shows a dark vortex resembling a tornado. However, it soon becomes clear that it is not composed of dust and debris lifted into the air, but of millions of mosquitoes. The density of the swarm was so great that it completely obscured the view, rising into the sky like a column of smoke. The cameraman was shocked by what he saw, comparing the anomaly to a scene from a science fiction movie. He could not comprehend how insects could form such a massive and organized cluster. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon. Your activity is the best reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.